This episode of The Tales Behind the Talent is sponsored by Avain Language Services. If you need proofreading of English texts, translations between Swedish, English and Finnish, or private teaching in Swedish and English, please do not hesitate to contact avainservices@gmail.com. The following messages will only be in Finnish. Stay tuned for the episode. Kauppuri 5 on toteuttanut iskulausettaan krapulan hoitoa ja hankintaa jo vuodesta 2010. Kauppuri on käynyt läpi monta muodonmuutosta ja kehittänyt itseään vuodesta toiseen. Vuosi koronaa on nyt takana ja kauppuri on edelleen pystyssä, mutta veitsen terällä ollaan. Pelastetaan kauppuri. Yhdessä on Facebook-tapahtuma, jonka tiimolta ravintola pyritään pelastamaan. Mukana on suuri joukko yhteistyökumppaneita ja muita yrityksiä. Sun nimi, Vanerilaatta, oli hetkellisen päähänpiston kautta välittömästi toteutettu idea. Yksityishenkilö tai yritys voi ostaa itselleen paikan kauppurin katosta 20 euron kappale hintaan. Kauppuri 5 täyttää 16.4. jo 11 vuotta ja on siis lunastanut paikkansa tärkeänä osana Oulun ravintolaskeneä. Auta pelastamaan kauppuri. Lisätietoa Facebook-tapahtumasta. Hello there, dear listener, wherever you might be. Welcome to another episode of The Tales Behind the Talent, and this time, as my guest, I have Eemeli. So, Eemeli, please introduce yourself in a brief manner.
Yeah, hi. So, my name is Eemeli Bodde, and I'm the vocalist in Subita, and the guitar/background vocalist in Detset at the moment. And I do everything music, basically.
Something to do with music is your game. Okay.
Yes.
So let's get down to business in the way that I'm going to ask you, how did you get introduced to music in your childhood?
In my childhood, well, there's actually we have old pictures of me as 2-year-old kid. A small guy holding a guitar and playing it, but I doubt that's the reason why we're here today. But yeah, but basically the whole thing the interest in music started when I was about 11 to 12 years old, and we started to discover all kinds of at first we discovered a lot of rap artists with our friends, and it kind of steamrolled from there, and then we slowly went to more towards rock bands and metal bands, and then it just got out of hand. Okay. But I remember back in the days when I just got my hands on the first Children of Bodom album, basically. Actually, it was the Spine Farm cover collection album that had a Bodom cover in it, I think.
Okay.
And that's where it just got off.
So you kind of started with multiple genres in a way, that it wasn't just one type of music that you started to listen to.
Yeah.
Not children's songs or anything like that.
No. I mean, yeah, it was there was really quick phases. First there was rap, then there was rock, metal, switching.
The kind of a classic progression of how it goes, usually.
Yeah.
So when did you start playing music yourself?
Well, I was 12 when I think I watched some live clips of bands performing, and then I was like to my parents that, hey, could you buy me a guitar? And they bought me a really shitty Harley Benson 100 something euros guitar that was really hard to play, but it didn't matter at that point.
Yeah, but the Thomann name brand.
Yeah.
They used to be really, really bad, but I think nowadays they have they're a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I also had, my first guitar was Harley Benson, and it was 100 euros, and it didn't I couldn't tune it. It didn't tune up.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually remember when we were doing an album recording at Tiko at Kemi. The studio manager Ahti just came into the room and was like, "Hey guys, check this out! I bought a new guitar," and it was, he said that it was something like 200 euros, a Harley Benson Telecaster thingy, and he was like, "This was cheap, but it plays good as hell."
Okay.
And it actually was really good to play with.
Yeah.
So they've come a far way.
Oh, definitely. So, when did you think that music would be something that you would like to do more in the future after starting to play?
Well, I don't think if there ever was like a sudden moment that I realized that I want to do this more, because it was like right from the beginning, it was like all the time that like the most of my time went into music, and still does, and it's always been the same, that I want to do more of this and more. And slowly I've been just progressing towards doing it every day, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there has been no like a break of enthusiasm or something like that.
Well, maybe the like one big factor that was when we like had the first band activities that we did, like formed a band and that kind of stuff. That was maybe the thing that made me realize that, hey, this is the best thing in life, the best thing you can do, to play gigs and stuff like that. So maybe that.
Okay. So when did you start playing in a band?
I think it was pretty soon after the first guitar. Like, I remember showing up to band practice with that guitar, the Harley Benson one, and then I think it was less than a year, maybe 6 months or so. There was some guys at our like high school who were like forming a band, basically, and yeah, I think I was a terrible guitar player back at the day, but I think it was more like we played like during the music classes at school, and then it kind of just evolved into a band. Yeah.
So what kind of music was it then?
It was like we played a lot of things. We played like covers, like some Megadeth songs, Metallica, I think, the classic stuff. And then we had like, do you know the game Dungeon Siege? Yeah. We used to play like their theme, the whole series theme in a rock version kind of or a metal version kind of a way. And then there was really our own songs, which were incredibly bad back then, of course, but we still loved them. And then everything in between. It was really a mess, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did it feel like playing with other people?
It was really like, I don't know, really interesting, of course, and really like, it was a new thing, and really like, really exciting. But there's always been a thing that I'm really like, well, not strict, but really like enthusiastic about what I do. I want to do everything like really good. And back in the day when it was not possible because I couldn't play that well, it was like really stressful as well, but
frustrating.
Yeah, frustrating. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. Because it was like you wanted to play better, and why can't I do this and this, and oh my god, these guys the other guys, they were like, there was a few guys older than me who had already played before, and then was like, why can't I play that and he can, and oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that little frustrated feelings, but that was good because it was exciting and frustrating at the same time, so you had to improve really fast, basically,
and to keep up with the other guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but most importantly, it was all the time fun.
Yeah. So was it somewhere around here, or?
It was back in we actually moved to a little village called Rantsila, which is like, well, you know, it's a little bit to the south from here, like 70 kilometers or so, 80 maybe. And then it was a really small town. There's probably like 2,000 residents or something like that. Yeah. so over there.
So there was there a lot of players, or
no?
Yeah, you just
no, there was not. Like, well, as it was, it is the same now as it was back then. So most of the population in there, they're more elderly people, and like that. There was really like our class had something like a couple, like dozen people basically, and that's it. And most of the guys were like playing floorball and stuff like that, ice hockey and stuff like that. And then there was a couple people who actually played like instruments.
Yeah. So I wouldn't imagine that heavy metal would be something that would be very popular in that kind of a place.
No. There was like clearly the group who listened to metal and then the others.
Yeah.
The guys who were into cars, into like, you know, the standard two groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in my junior high it was like hockey players and everyone else.
Yeah. I feel it.
There's always like that division going on.
Yeah. And it's pretty like strict like at that age, like from 12 to 15, it's really like you have your opinions and they're the only real ones.
Yeah.
There's no alternatives.
So around that time you were playing the guitar, but when did you start doing vocals?
Oh my god, this is a bad one. I think I kind of like started to do them at the same time, but I was really shy about the vocal thing at first. I used to train like well, I actually lived in a small apartment that was our like parents' apartment. They owned it. I moved there when I was like 14 or something like that, and then that's when I got my chance to be alone with nobody else around.
Yeah,
and that's when I really got into I had my guitar cabinets and my amps, and I had a really cheap like a karaoke mic or something like that. I just plugged that in to the amp,
okay,
to have some kind of amplification to be going through with the vocals, and then I just started doing the like back in the days, like that's over 10 years ago. There was a couple YouTube tutorials on how to do metal vocals or something like that, and then I just started to like go through everything I could find and learning everything, and it was really weird time. So, but yeah, maybe 14 I would say was the real break point with
so
that.
did you move on your own when you were 14?
Well, it was basically because it was in the same property as our parents lived.
Yeah, okay.
It was kind of a separate thing, but still we agreed that I was planning that I will move to go to school somewhere else, and then my parents were, hey, you want to try living on your own? And then I said, of course, yes. And then I went there, and I kind of lived in the same place as my parents, but I had my own place, and I did all the like all the things you do,
everyday stuff, and
everything except paying for my electricity bill.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
So when did you move out kind of that area? When you did you start to study or?
Yeah. I went to Mannerheim, like music college. Is it college?
Yeah. High school.
Yeah.
Or secondary school.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There, I went there when I was 15. Yeah. 14, 15.
Probably turning 16 or so. Usually it's that age.
Yeah, about then.
Yeah.
So 15. Yeah, I hadn't turned 16. I was 15 when I moved out to Oulu, and yeah.
Yeah. So that was probably a good thing that you had a little bit of experience of what it is like to kind of live alone.
Yeah, for sure. Like everyone should have that. If there's a possibility, of course. But
at that young age, I moved out when I was 19. I moved into this apartment, and I haven't moved since, except for the time when I was in Sweden. But that's another story.
But still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you told about YouTube tutorials, but how have you been training, like later, vocals and vocals over time?
Well, I'm self-taught all the way. Basically, I had some like more classical vocal lessons, but that's like a couple, like 3 or 4 max. So I'm all self-taught, and well, there was, going back to these YouTube tutorials, there was this one video of a guy who kinda, I don't even remember who he was. It wasn't like an Iranian guy or something like that, or from somewhere over there, and he did this kind of there were vocal videos, but they made fun of the YouTube tutorials. He was a really good vocalist. He could do a lot of things, and then he had these funny kind of vocal lessons that he did, and I watched those, and they made me realize like that how bad like 80% of the YouTube tutorial videos were.
Yeah.
Just through the jokes, and then I kind of got my head into it that how I should train more vocals and stuff like that, and it kind of started evolving. And then I was of course singing in like some bands and stuff like that, which was really good as well.
Yeah. So when you were in the Madetoja upper secondary school, did you play the guitar more as a part of that, or it wasn't the vocals?
Yeah, it was more guitar oriented, but yeah, the vocals thing, it was until I felt ready with them. I really did just it by myself all the time. Yeah, so I was more of a guitar player until that. Yeah. But yeah, the school, of course, I wasn't interested in the classical singing or the pop singing back then that much, so it was kind of the only option at the time to do guitar. Yeah. I mean, it was good. It actually really good thing to study of the music theory stuff and all that through our instrument. It helped a lot.
Okay, so let's talk about the first shows that you have played.
Yes.
So what kind of project was that, and how did it go?
Well, the first show was one that we did at our high school spring parties. What are those called?
Yeah.
The graduation things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know.
The spring ceremony or something.
Yeah, something like that. That was the first time I ever played in front of people. And it was just a few songs, I think. Yeah, we played Symphony of Destruction.
Of course. Yeah.
And then one of our own songs, which was called World on Fire. And it was pretty political for young people, as young people as us. But it was fun. And I remember I think it's somewhere on video as well, but we just stood there playing. Nobody did anything. It was just like watching 5 or 6 scarecrows standing playing. But yeah, that was the first, like a really small gig, but still the first gig.
Yeah. So you weren't performing, you were just playing.
Yeah, basically, yes. I mean, everybody wanted to perform, but nobody had the guts to do anything.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. It was the first time for a lot of us.
So when did you join your first like a real band that lasted for a little bit longer time?
Well, I don't even know. I think it's when I joined like more Subita back in. It was in the end of 2013 or the start of 2014. I would say that was the real like the first real band that I joined, because before that we had a lot of bands, and they were not even that like bad in the end. I still sometimes go on MySpace and look up some of the songs, and they were actually real good. Maybe not played and produced as well as they should be, but still good songs. And but there's always so much more in a band than just the music. It's more about the dynamics and doing everything around it. So I would say more Subita was the first real experience.
Yeah. Okay, so how did it feel like joining the band? Was it like, did it feel intense in a way, because the band has been going on for quite some time, and even before that?
Yeah, they used to they started playing when I was still at the sandbox outside eating shit.
Yeah.
Basically. But but it was pretty intense. I mean there was, first of all, I really liked the band before I joined the guys. I used to listen to them a lot. They had released their first album, The Human Waste Compression, at 2011. It was one of my favorite albums back then. And then it was like really, like, how would I say? Well, again, little bit even stressful to try to join the band. But yeah, it was really intense, and they had these tryouts basically. And there was a friend of mine who applied as well. He's a really good vocalist, lives in Oulu as well, and he applied as well. And I was like, damn, I'm not that good.
Yeah.
I'm not as good as he is, and there's no fucking way. But then we just went to, I did 2 demos for them, and they actually ended up on the next album we did, with the second album we did with the band. And then they asked me to go to their rehearsals, and yeah, I said yes, of course, sure. And I was really fucking like nervous.
Yeah, of course.
Super excited and nervous at the same time, and it was like I was almost shitting my pants. But then when we got there, and the guys were super cool, and it was really easy to like perform with them, or just do the songs. We did a couple songs, and then we trained some more, and then the guys were like, hey, we have this gig coming up in Kemi. And then I was like, oh shit, do you want to come and let's try it out if you can do the gig?
Yeah.
And then I said, yeah, sure. And I just went for it, and then after that they were just like, hey, you're in the band, let's go.
Okay.
It was great.
A pat on the back, like.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But it was a long process. As well, I don't know, we have this habit of not doing anything too fast, and it was the same back then with the guys. So it took some time, was really nerve-wracking, but I'm happy it turned out as it did.
Yeah, of course. So how much had you been doing vocals before that?
The first band we started, the school project, it evolved into something more metal stuff, and I started doing background backing vocals then a little bit, and then we even used to do some like more heavy metal covers that I sang.
Okay.
more like raspy, cleanish singing as well. And then when I moved to Oulu, I joined a band called Execute the Silent. I don't know if you remember that. We played like core music, metalcore and deathcore basically, and like some As I Lay Dying covers and Lamb of God covers and some of our own songs. And that was a fun project, and it was more like, I remember somebody just asked, I don't know who it was, but yeah, somebody just asked me that, hey, I've heard you've been doing some vocals, wanna try this thing. And I never did like lead vocals before, so that was a huge step for me. But then I joined the band and we played for a while.
Yeah.
It wasn't we did some demo songs and stuff like that, but there was no like real releases, more like demo tracks we put out to like MySpace or Mixer. It was a thing back then.
Yeah.
stuff like that. Good old times. And then we did some gigs and stuff, but that really got me the confidence to do like more vocals. Yeah.
I'm not really like I don't know about that many projects that were then, if they're not alive still, because I wasn't that into the scene.
Oh yeah.
Back then. I was in high school in Oulu, but I didn't live here.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't listen to that heavy music either. It was like Metallica level like metal. And I think it was in the university when I got to know our common friends Juho and Aku from the studies. So but that was when I started to listen to a little bit heavier shit, so to speak. So let's talk more about then your project as a guitar player.
Yeah.
So you're now in Detset, but before that, and let's say after your high school, so what have you been doing with the guitar?
Yeah. So back in when I lived in Oulu, we had this deathcore project called Funeral for the Masses.
Yeah.
And that was my main guitar project. I don't know what to call it. But yeah, that was just heavy, chunky guitar riffing stuff that we did. And yeah, that's on hold for now. The band is still alive. I mean, there's still the band is out there, but we're not doing anything right now.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then I was mostly like the guitar playing I have done. It's been like rehearsing and composing things. I've done lots of solo songs, like solo material, but I still have to work on that a lot. And then when I moved to Tampere, I joined Detset, which was a mutual, like, yeah, the bass player Jonne Soodin, how he was like, he was singing in Carnelation back in the day, and then we did a couple gigs with Funeral for the Masses and Carnelation.
Yeah,
like
I remember that.
Yeah, co-gigs. And after that, I remember when I saw Jonne at Tampere before I lived there, and he was showing me this Dead Set songs, like, hey, this is cool. And yeah, I was like, yeah, good shit. And then when I moved there, he asked me that would I like to join the band.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing since that, so a couple of years now. Now.
So your kind of playing is a little bit different now, because according to my understanding, you play with a 6-string now, or
yeah,
and you used to play the metalcore with 8 or 7.
Yeah, eight strings.
Yeah, 8 strings.
Yeah, like in super low.
Yeah.
An octave lower E tuning.
Yeah.
Like shit.
So
wild.
How does it feel like having a completely? It's not completely different because it's still the guitar, but like playing with the 6-string. You started with the 6-string, and how is it like to be back with the 6?
It feels good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that much of a difference in the end. But it's a huge difference, of course. But when you don't think about it too much, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
And I've never been like, as a guitar player, I've never been too much of a lead guitarist type. I mean, I can play solos and stuff like that, but I don't just enjoy that as much. I just like to, when I play the guitar, I want to hear it growl.
Yeah.
You know, not scream, but growl. So low notes and nice riffs, and that's more my cup of tea. And well, of course, that's kind of in conflict in moving from the 8 strings to the 6 strings. I mean, back to the 6 strings, but still, it wasn't that much of a difference. It was a good learning experience, to be sure. And I will buy another 8 string soon. When I find a suitable guitar, I will surely get it.
So 2 years in the band. So you've had a couple of publications from is it 3 singles?
Wait a minute. Yes, 3 singles so far. Yeah.
And you played a few shows, and you're one of the few who got to play live last summer.
Yes, 2 gigs.
Yeah.
Oh yes. That was great. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of a wild summer. I mean, we like everything we could get out of those 2 gigs, we took it.
Yeah.
Just because of the situation.
Yeah. It's I wasn't able to attend either one of those, but one was at Sari Helvetti, and I remember it was like everybody was anxious and like feeling like, what about I get the corona from this?
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah.
Then the sun was like up high, and it was almost 30 degrees, and everybody was getting the beer, and then they were just like relaxed a bit, and I think there were no cases from that festival afterwards.
Yeah,
but at least when I got there, everybody was a little bit anxious, but when people started playing music, they just relaxed a bit. But I would really like to see something like that happening next summer as well.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so.
Mm.
But I mean, looking at just before I came here, I was looking at it's not the news, but the TV show where they ask the government questions. I don't know what it's called, but and it seemed positive.
Yeah, like a questioning.
Yeah,
like
it was okay. I mean,
panel press conference.
Yeah. But I hope it's gonna be more relaxed than if we even get any festivals. But if we do, I hope it's going to be more relaxed than last year, because I remember everybody who I was talking to before Saari Helvetti, everybody was like, oh shit, should I sell my tickets? Well, should I get there or should I not? And it was a real hassle, but in the end it was really good, and everything was done as it should be. Like really all the hygiene stuff and everything was great. There was a lot of space for people, and as you said, there was no nothing. Yeah, and
it's the benefit for like outdoor festivals in that kind of an area that it's not that packed, even though there's a lot of people there.
Yeah, yep.
But how about with more Subita? You released a new album last year.
Yes.
So how did the recording process go for that?
It was quite okay. I mean, there was some little difficulties with it, but it started as usual. We booked Tiko from Kemi for the drums, because our drummer lives in Kemi.
Yeah.
So it's really easy for him to just go there after work and record for the night, and then same thing next day and that kind of stuff. And that's the usual thing we've been doing now, and it was really, that was smooth. It was, I mean, he blasted the songs into I mean, on the tracks in like, was it 4 days or something?
Yeah.
And it was like 12 songs.
Okay.
There was like more songs we did that ended up on the record, and he was insanely fast with that, as usual. I think my man is a beast. And that was cool. And at the same time, when he was doing drums at Kemi, we were recording guitars with Mika in Oulu at Master Rock Studios at the same time. We were just there, the two of us. I was recording and Mika was playing and chasing tones and stuff like that. And that was pretty smooth too. There was some there was maybe the most problems we had at that point was mostly communication stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was really hard to concentrate on because Mika, he likes to oversee kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So everything is good and up to standards and stuff like that. And then there was of course, at some point you will have, during recordings, you might have a song that's not played as well as the others because just fatigue and you get tired in the studio, stuff like that. Then we had to bounce that, what do we do again and stuff like that. And that was maybe the hardest part at that point. But in the end, it was good.
Yeah.
And then we had some little bit more trouble with the bass and the vocals. I think we recorded vocals in 4 different spots, or 3. Well, anyways, I did some at the studio in Tampere. Then I did some little fills at my home studio as well. And then we did some vocals at Mastervox. And then we had some songs, like 3 or 4 that we did at White Leaf Studios in Oulu as well.
Yeah.
And then that was a real kind of in the end, it wasn't too much of a hassle, but at the time it felt like, oh shit.
Yeah, having so many kind of aspects within the one project.
Yeah. And it was all like, it was so, like everything with the COVID stuff, and we didn't know that if the studios were gonna close or if there was something like that. And it was a lot of questions. There was a lot of questions in the air, but then it's okay. In the end, it was more about, with vocals and with the bass, more about scheduling and actually trying to fit the pieces together. Yeah. And of course, because I live in Tampere and June lives in, actually he moved recently. I think he lives in Järvenpään. Yeah.
Somewhere down
Somewhere,
south.
yes. Who knows? Haven't seen the guy in ages.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah. So there was just scheduling stuff basically in the end. Yeah, but it was smooth. It was smooth in the end.
So is the process like Mika writes most of the ideas for the songs, and are you more in charge of the lyrical content then, or?
Yeah, I mean, we've had this this thing for a while that Mika does the songs and he provides us with like almost ready demos for the songs. There might be some synths that he's gonna do later, or maybe change something and with lead guitars or some little things, but we go through them together and decide what we want to put on the record. But he does most of the work, and then with the vocals I usually do the lyrics and the what's sovitus in English? Arrangements, vocal arrangements. Yeah, I usually do that as well, and then we bounce ideas with Mika, and sometimes there's some songs. Is there like 2 songs on the newest album that Mika did the whole thing?
Okay.
I mean, almost like Into Eternity, for example. The one of the music videos we put out, it's Mika's lyrics.
Yeah.
And then there's almost all of the arrangements are done by Mika. But then there's like some like clean vocal parts in there that I did, and but there's a lot of, but like some of the songs were mostly done by Mika as well on the lyrics.
Yeah.
I think it was 2. I need to listen to that album again. I don't even know the songs anymore.
So
so long.
I remember when I was talking to Mika at Teatria. I can't remember which gig was it, but he did say then that you were thinking about having clean vocals on the album at least at some point. So was that the first time there was like clean vocals on a more Subita album into Eternity?
Yeah, I mean, on the album, yes, it was the first time, I think. And I actually when we talked about applying to Subita back in the day, that's actually the first time I did clean vocals for one of the demo tracks.
Okay.
But that didn't end up on the album. But now we it's just like, I did the demos, and then it just kind of locked in there that we could use these as like background things, just to spice it up a little. And then, going back to Into Eternity, the song, there was actually the one chorus was only clean vocals, and they're still there. They're still in the background. You can hear them quite clearly if you listen to it. Not the chorus, the first or second verse. Well, anyways, you'll hear it. But we didn't want to use them as in the lead role in the end. And then we ended up doing this. There's this little bit sentence style raspy
Yeah,
vocals in
yeah.
there.
I recognize that style. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. We just tried out things and figure out what works the best.
And I think it fits very well on that song because it's kind of the mood of the song anyways. To kind of it reminds me of Sentenced in many ways. So it would be it fits perfectly, I think.
Yeah.
And the music video is really cool, and it was done with Juuso Laatio, right?
Yeah.
Who has been involved in Heavy Reissu.
Yeah.
Also. But and it was filmed in Hailuoto.
Yeah, Hailuoto. Yeah, exactly. It was one really cold winter weekend. We shot that. Yeah, it was the whole weekend without any. Well, we got to sleep in a place that had heat. I mean, like proper like living conditions, but everything else was outside or in the cabin that was minus 10 degrees at least.
Yeah,
minus 20 outside. So that was fun.
Yeah, and it's about you actually like writing the song or writing a song.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cold environment to have your brains thinking that.
Yeah.
In the video, like Ville is the guy who does everything, and everyone is doing their own thing, kind of. And in the scene in the sauna, am I correct that it was baby oil and not sweat on you or something like that? Yeah.
It was baby oil and water.
And a freezing sauna.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because we thought that the sauna was gonna be warm. And we've been there all day, like freezing, and oh my god, yes, soon we get to go to the sauna and like, warm up and stuff. And then they were like, Juuso and the guys were like, okay, get your clothes off and get to the sauna. It's minus 20 degrees in there. And there's actually nothing in the fireplace. It's just a light. And hey, by the way, here's baby oil and here's water. Get yourself wet looking. Yeah, but you can imagine what happens when it's minus 20 degrees outside and you pour water on you and just sit there.
Yeah.
That's not nice.
Like my experience of just a similar experience is when I was in the very kalpa music video for Talo and Teurat, and
the one where you're hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, I'm hanging from the ceiling, and it was like -5 or something, and it was actually that I was in a barn or something like that, and the wind didn't come in, so it was a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
But then Jani, the guy who shot the music video, like, we need more light, so he opened up the doors, and it was like a wind tunnel after that.
Thanks, Jani.
I was hanging by chains in the roof, and it was freezing cold, and then I think it's like 2 seconds on the film, but it was really important for the plot of the music video. Go check it out if you haven't. But I get how cold it must have been in a sauna if it's even colder like that. It isn't windy, but it's cold, and you're wet. But then was Sick was the first single for that album.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So did you have that ready before the other songs, or did you have the album completely done before releasing that?
Yeah. I mean, we recorded everything at the same time. So, but I think "Sick" was one of the first songs that was mixed, just because of we had already scheduled that what song we want to put out first.
Yeah.
So we thought, this is cool. Let's do this, and then we just told Stefan from Illusia Productions, who was mixing the thing, that hey, we want this track out first. So we just worked on it first.
Okay.
And I think there was some like something like similar things as well with the schedule with other songs, but don't remember anymore. But that was how we did that.
But after releasing that, you are still like you're yet to play a gig after releasing the album.
Yeah.
So have you had any hopes or plans about that for the future?
For playing the new songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope. Well, as soon as we can, we will.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as it's reasonable, as soon as it's safe, we will do that. And we have. Well, I can probably tell at this point that we've been building a new set list, and there's a lot of new songs.
Yeah.
A lot of, but it's not exclusively new songs, but a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. This is a question that I ask everybody, and you can kind of do your own interpretation of what it means when it comes to your own experience. And the question is, when was the first time you thought that the hard work is starting to pay off? And it isn't necessarily like to do with money or fame or anything like that, but just like for you to continue doing what you are doing.
Yeah. The first time. Well, one of the first like overwhelming feelings of success was when I was in my own room, like a really young dude playing guitar, and I actually been playing for like weeks and weeks and weeks and like 8 hours a day or something. And I feel bad for my parents at this point for that. But and then I actually learned the first like Children of the Bottom song with guitar. I was like, oh shit, I can actually play this shit. What the fuck? I think it was it like 6 Pounder or something? I'm not even sure anymore. But yeah, that was one of the first things. And then, well, every gig that I do, I get the same feeling, basically. After the gig, I'm like, holy shit, this is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of the best feelings in the world for me. And then the bigger the gig, the like, well, it doesn't have to be a big, that's not the right word. Maybe the more intense the gig, the more intense the feeling every time. But yeah, but like more recently, one of the great moments with music was when we went to Japan and played the tour there. It was like, I would go back in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It was really, really fucking awesome. Yeah. But as I said, every gig. Gig.
So the gig in Japan, it was like one gig and
3 gigs.
3 gigs.
Yeah, 3
okay.
gigs. It was like a small festival tour.
Okay.
Basically, so we did a show in Osaka and Tokyo and Nagoya, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it like a week?
Yeah, but it's like 3 separate. I don't know if they were like one after each other, but another, I mean. But I think it was. So we were there for like 5 or 6 days in total. Yeah, and 3 show days and 1 day off, basically.
Yeah, you must have been tired because the flights and everything.
Like yeah. I mean, I slept almost all the flights, so it was cool. Yeah, and the flight back, I remember the first image that I remember was waking up 4 hours into the flight.
Okay.
Basically, so, well, no sleep and some booze, and that's what you get.
Yeah. So, is there any kind of plans for more songs, for more Subita, or is it like something that is not to be disclosed at this moment?
I mean, we have plans. Yeah. I mean, of course, we're like all the time working on new songs, new material, and there will be a new album at some point in the future. And then we've been planning to do other things as well, but we will see. I can't talk too much about that yet.
Yeah. Okay, but how about Detset? Because you released 3 songs, and I from social media I've noticed that you have been working on something. So is it a debut album that's on the works, or?
Yeah, well, that's another thing I can't really talk about yet.
Okay.
But there's all the time things happening, and we're working on a lot of stuff for people out there. But I think we will be able to tell more about that in the near future with Detset. But there's more songs coming, and yes, we have recorded we recorded the debut album in like almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, 2
Okay.
years ago. It's been ready for a while, but we've just been waiting for the right moment and
Yeah.
right like partners to work with on the release.
Mm.
And now it's slowly everything is like going along and getting together, and yeah, so much that.
Yeah. So we're heading towards the end of the podcast here. So kind of what we can gather from that is that you are doing a lot with music and hoping for shows in the near future. But at this point, do you have something that you would like to say to the listeners?
Well, basically, all that's on my mind right now is that stay at home for a little bit longer, people, please.
Yeah.
So we can get to shows fast. I mean, as fast as possible. Use your brains, stay safe, and stay healthy.
Yeah.
And of course, go check out our music. Music videos, Spotify. You'll find it. More Subita and Detset.
So I guess that's it for this interview. So thank you for listening, and stay safe out there.